we're now up to the number 6 worst console of all time, and we are at the Apple Pippin.
Oh my god, Steve Jobs must have been hard up for cash that he had to pimp out his whole staff.
No, not Snoop Dogg pimpin', but the Apple Pippin.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the guy who played for the Bulls back in the 90s.
No, that's Scottie Pippen, and we're talking about the Apple Pippin.
Oh, okay, I got you. You're talking about that guy from Lord of the Rings, that short shit that got fucked by a tree.
No one got fucked by a tree in Lord of the Rings, and you're thinking about Pippin the Hobbit. No, we're talking about the Apple Pippin.
My bad. I'm just way off topic. I got you. You're talking about that guy, and he wore a pot on his head, and he went around planting seeds to grow apple trees.
That's Johnny Appleseed. No, we're talking about the Apple Pippin, the console that was released on September 1st, 1996 in the United States. This was a joint adventure combined with Bandai and the Apple Corporation. Their idea was to make a console/computer that would be a cheaper alternative for a computer to play on your own TV screen.
Wow. Well, with all these features, how much was this thing?
$599 at launch.
What? $600?
Yes, for a console that came out during the N64, Sega Saturn, and Sony PlayStation era, and all three consoles being way under that in '96.
I can't believe it. How did they even think they were going to compete? What gave them the edge to charge this much?
The Pippin had one item that the other three consoles didn't have, Gooch. It had a 14.4K modem, so you could play games at blazingly super slow speeds online.
Jeez Louise, I understand this is the early days for the internet when it connects to console gaming, but a 14K modem, weren't they planning for the future at all, or did they think they were only going to get online for the next 3 months?
Just wait until you hear about these accessories, Gooch. You're going to be laughing hysterically. Let's start off with the Applejack controller, as it had wireless and wired capability. You could choose for your gaming preference.
Dude, Applejacks sound delicious.
Not the cereal, the Applejack controller, the name that Apple and Bandai used.
They named their controller?
Unfortunately, yes. It gets worse. You also had the Apple Pippin keyboard withdrawing tablet that you could take the Pippin into, say, a board meeting, show how stupid you would look by drawing on your tablet and probably get fired. You've also got the Pippin floppy disk drive, which was an accessory that could take 3.5 discs. That information you could save on your computer, you could show up and load up on your Pippin.
I think you meant floppy dock drive, and you have a 3.5-inch floppy disk.
Close enough. This thing sucks dick.
Okay.
Anyways, you could use the Applejack to Macintosh adapter for connecting your Pippin devices to your Macintosh, because everybody in the mid-90s, Gooch, had an Apple Macintosh computer. Not!
Now hold on, DB. There were people that back in the day, they did own Macs.
Yes, but very few people owned the Pippin itself, making that a useless accessory.
Again, another giant paperweight. But seriously, even the worst consoles have to have some decent games. I mean, this thing had a library of 80 games.
In Japan, yes it did.
How many in the US?
Roughly about 18 games.
Damn. Okay, well, there has to be some good games in that.
Well, most of the games were published by Bandai.
That pretty much means 0 games that were good.
Well, Gooch, some of the games that came out for the Apple Pippin were Exotic Sushi, yum yum. Gus Goes to Cyberopolis.
Sounds educational.
Gus Goes to Kooky Carnival.
Okay.
Gus Goes to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Gus Goes to the post office.
Okay.
Gus Goes to school.
Sure.
Gus Goes to the park.
Yeah, that's enough Gus games.
Gus Goes to the mall.
Enough Gus.
Gus Goes to the strip club.
What?
Gus Goes to get a prostate exam.
Dude, you're making this shit up now.
Yeah, I'm just fucking with you. There's only 2 Gus games.
Oh, okay, 2 Gus games, whatever. Move on. Other games.
Okay, well, how about Mr. Potato Head says, Veggie Valley, yeah.
Don't sing.
Okay, how about Racing Days?
Sounds pretty lame.
Daytona!
No, that's a good game.
Let's go away, Daytona!
I wish you'd go away. Just mention the other games.
How about Super Marathon?
Sounds like a horrible gas station.
And Terror Tracks.
That sounds like a horrible FMV game.
It was a horrible FMV game. The only buttons you used was A and B to make the choice for your character, life or death situations that you just didn't give a shit about.
Okay, so even the name Terror Tracks, it really can't be that bad, can it?
It is. It really is.
Well, what is it even about?
Well, you are the dispatcher for a vampire hunting task force that goes out and kills vampires.
Oh, well, how do they even know where to go to fight the vampires?
The victims call 911 before the vampires drinks their blood.
That is ridiculous. How do you have time to call 911?
Well, Gooch, it would probably go something like this.
911, what's your emergency?
The vampire chased me! He's gonna make it corner! Help!
Is this a prank call?
No, it's serious! He's got rape in his eyes! Help!
This is about the son of a
You're so good!
Is this really an emergency? Wow. Okay, so let's just recap here. Apple Pippin, number 6, worst console of all time. Technically, this thing worked. It was functional, but it was a piece of garbage.
It played music CDs.
It played music CDs, and it kind of played games. Not any good games.
But for $600, it was definitely a waste of money.
Yeah, you can get so much more for your money when it came down to spending that much cash.
So, Gooch, let me ask you this. If this is number 6, what is going to be in the top 5 worst consoles of all time?
You don't even want to know.
As we are getting ready to dive into the shit barrel of the shittiest, the stinkest of the stink. The top 5 worst consoles are coming up. You have to stay tuned to see what they are, folks. I'm the Douchebag.
I am the Gooch.
We'll see you next time.